Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I'm the Faithful Stamper and an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. Today I have for you a hidden flap card. This was demonstrated originally by Lavonne Schwenderman, and I want to share this beautiful technique with you. It's a lovely card that does not require a lot for construction. So here's the outside of the card. And when you open it up, it reveals a hidden card inside. So there's your hidden flap card. And so I'm going to teach you to make it. The first thing you are going to need are two pieces of cardstock. One piece that is 5.5 inches tall by 10 inches wide. And the second one is 4.5 by 7.5. And I'm using the same color. This is Seaside Spray. So all I need to do with these two pieces of cardstock is bring over my paper trimmer. And I do need to fold out my extendable arm. On the 5.5 by 10 inch piece, on the 10-inch side, you are going to score, no cutting, just scoring, at 4.25 and 8.5. And then on your smaller piece, your 4.5 by 7.5, I am going to score on the long side at 2 3/4, 3.5, 4.25, and 7 inches. And now I'm done all my cutting and scoring, and I can put my trimmer away. The first thing I'm going to do is fold on the 4.25 inch line on my larger piece. And then the smaller flap gets folded in. This is going to be your little pocket for your card. And you'll need some tear and tape or glue for this particular card. I am using tear and tape. You cannot go wider than about 1/4 inch for this because you need all the space inside for your smaller card. So I am using my 1/4 inch tear and tape from Stampin' Up on the top and the bottom. And a little trick I found out recently is to take a clear block, preferably with a squared edge. The round edge works, but not quite as well. And when I pull my tear and tape, it gives my tear and tape a nice crisp edge, and I love that. I think it is the most amazing hack ever. Makes it so much easier than trying to tear it and not tear your paper. So I'm going to fold that in and give it a press. Set that aside for a moment, and then on my smaller card, you just need to fold on all your score lines. So the 3 there in the middle. And what I like to do is fold with those 3 lines to the right side, and then I fold back the front because that's the little card I'm making on the inside. So you'll see it'll open this way. And that helps me to remember that I need to fold the small flap backwards or underneath. So hopefully that makes sense. Before I attach it to the inside of the card, I'm going to run a piece of tear and tape here along the inside of the score line. Again, use my little trick here to give it a nice crisp edge. This is the piece that will help your card stay hidden, but where it needs to be inside your card. And then I need to put tear and tape on this little flap here. And after that, all the tear and tape is done. Any kind of double-sided tape will work for this as well, but you need something sturdy. A regular adhesive will not hold this in place. Now, I'm going to bring back over my card front. So remember, your inner card is going to open this way. So I flip it over, and so the tape will be on the flap if I fold it back there. So I want to line this up to the left of the center score line here, and I really need to make sure it's centered. If I go too close to the top or the bottom, it's going to affect the card going into the pocket over here, and my card won't want to cooperate with me when I close it up. So hopefully that's pretty good. Just going to press that down. And then when I fold it back over, I can bend on the score line and just coax that little card inside. And you can see when I close the card, it just pushes this piece right into that pocket. And there is my hidden fold. So now decorating. The first thing I'm going to do is take a piece of designer series paper that is 5 1/4 by 4 for my front cover. And these are papers from our hydrangea suite in our new January to June 2021 catalog. For gluing my designer series paper on, I am using just a regular adhesive. This is our Stampin' Seal Plus, which is great for regular cards and 3D projects as well. So this gets centered on the front of the card. I'm going to come back and do all the decorating of the front later. I have a strip of designer series paper that is 5 1/4 inches tall by 1 1/4 inches wide, and that's going to decorate my little pocket. And my adhesive is being persnickety because it's on camera. That's okay. I love the Stampin' Seal Plus because it is segmented, and so it's very easy. If you have a little hanging over the edge of your project, you can just fold it right back behind it. Now I have 3 pieces of designer series paper that are 2 1/2 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches tall. These could all 3 be the same paper. You can experiment as you're assembling your card and decide which kind of prints you want. 2 of these I'm going to keep with this print up. The other one, I happen to like the back as well, so I'm just going to flip that over. That one is going to go on the outside of the mini card, on the inside of the card itself. So this is the front cover of the mini card. And then I'm going to open the mini card, and these 2 pieces will go on the inside. So one here, and then the second on the other side. Now, a little stamping. I am going to pull out my Stampin' Pierce mat. And this piece of Whisper White that I'm going to stamp on is 2 1/4 inches wide by 4 inches tall. So you can't write a whole lot in this book, or in this book. You can't write a book in this little card, was what I was trying to say. But I'm going to use black Memento ink and stamp. I'm using photopolymer stamps, which is why I needed the extra little cushion, a piece of foam, or even a catalog that has a little give. And that's not the stamp I want to use. I want this one. All the stamps I'm featuring tonight are from the Hydrangea Haven suite, or stamp set, in the Hydrangea suite. And I'm just going to stamp them in the Memento ink. This is my go-to black ink for almost all my projects. So, to an incredible woman, you are capable of amazing things. And then I'm going to do a little 2-step stamping. I'm going to first stamp in my Memento ink, down here at the bottom, the outline of the hydrangea images. And then I lost my little leaf stamp. because I was using it to tear my tape. I'm going to stamp 2 of the little leaves down here as well. And now I'm going to do the second stamp. Second level of stamping. Closing up that Memento ink pad. So what I'm going to do next is take 2 of the stamps in the set that have more of a watercolor look, and I'm going to use those and stamp over what I've already stamped to add a little color. I'm not explaining this very well at all. So this stamp does not perfectly line up with the hydrangeas, and that's okay. It just gives it a loose watercolor look. And I do not want to stamp purple leaves. That was Highland Heather. So I'm going to grab some Granny Apple Green and stamp my leaves with that watercolor wash as well. And there we go. That is all I need to do for the inside of my card. So, a little more adhesive, and I can position this panel on the inside of my card. There we go. That goes right inside. And now I'm going to decorate from the front out because I'm going to use glue for the very inside, and I want to do that last because you don't want to wait while I let glue dry. So, as part of the hydrangea stamp set, I pre-stamped and cut this beautiful image and did the same 2-step stamping with the memento and then the colors. And I could pop this up with dimensionals, but I've decided I'm going to leave it flat on the card front. I'm just going to put adhesive on all the bigger leaves. I'm not going to worry too much about that little bottom stem. This I'm going to place right on the front. And then I want to add a little bow. I have some gorgeous grape ribbon and my glue dots, and I simply put a glue dot right behind the center of the bow, lift that up and put it right there, trim the little tails with my scissors, and that's ready to go. Next, the front of the card, I pre-stamped You Make Me Smile on one of our layering ovals, and then I use the coordinating scalloped oval behind it. This I am going to pop up with dimensionals. I didn't go too heavy with the dimensionals on this card because the card has added thickness already because of the card within a card format. And so you will need a little extra postage on this. I don't believe it's heavier than an ounce, but it is thicker than a standard card. So I've just popped that with dimensionals on the inside of the card, on the front of the little mini card, I'll be specific, so as not to confuse you. And then last but not least, we have some beautiful dies in the hydrangea die set. This die cuts out the top, and hopefully you can see I could actually pop up all the little petals in this set if I wanted to. What I like to do with this one is just kind of bend it, give it a little bit of texture, but not take the time to pop up every little petal. And then I'm using this little stem as well. Now, if you have adhesive sheets, they are perfect for dies like this, but I'm going to use just a little bit of glue. So I'm going to bring over my scratch paper here to make sure I don't muck up my work surface. And this is our Tombow glue. Some people call it green glue, and a little goes a long way. So I am just dabbing little tiny dots on the fat part of the leaves, the centers of the stems really, or the centers of the leaves, I guess. And trying as neatly as possible just to dab a little bit on that stem, just enough to anchor this in place, but not go crazy with the glue. So move that out of the way. I'm going to flip this right onto the center of the small card And this will not take a lot of time to set, but I didn't want to make you wait. And then I'm just going to take some Stampin' Seal Plus and adhere the top of this hydrangea right above. And so I'm going to set that to the side for just a minute, but you can see how quickly you can put together a beautiful card. This could be done for any occasion. It's a nice little wow card that doesn't require 3 million steps. If you need any Stampin' Up! Supplies, I'd be happy if you were to visit thefaithfulstamper.stampinup.net. You can also visit me on Facebook as The Faithful Stamper. I post dimensions for all the projects on Friday mornings before I go live in my videos. And I'd be happy to have you there to share in my crafting adventures with me. I also hope you will subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'd very much appreciate that. So I do have a couple other samples to show you as well. This one features the Sand and Sea Suite from Stampin' Up. Has beautiful images that you can stamp and emboss and die cut. That would be a beautiful card to give to a friend. And then last but not least, I have a card featuring our Ice Cream Corner Suite. This would be fun for a teen or a young adult, or anyone really. But there you have it. This is the Hidden Flap card. There we go. Designed by Lavonne Schwenderman. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to make that card. Thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting!